Hey everybody, look at me. I am wearing something different. Oh my gosh, a t-shirt and I'm even wearing pants. Don't know if you can see those. Still wearing my flip-flops with wool socks though. Love it. That's my favorite way to go, even in the cold. I'm sure some of you are glad to see me in something other than the maroon and blue shirt. But I do have winter colder stuff. So we're talking today about the solar panels and what it was like from when I talked last week about the being sick part when the sun went away. Not usually an issue. The sun is always available for us. And so it was interesting to have this is the longest ever without sun. And after on the second day, I realized, all right, we're getting down to like 12:1, which is like the lower limit you really want to go with the batteries, or you're going to start damaging them. But we have our fridge. We have mostly fresh fruits and vegetables, so you got to keep them refrigerated. And so Noelle had the great idea, since we have that really great Edge Star 12-volt fridge. It's metal, really insulated. She's like, well, let's just turn it off and put a block of ice in it, or a small bag of ice in it, and we might have to do it a couple times a day. We didn't know how long we'd need to do it. But since the sun wasn't out, it wasn't as warm, so that helped too. So we put the ice in the fridge, turned it off, and then that worked great. That thing is so well. That Edge Star 12-volt fridge, that's my favorite. Oh my gosh, it's the best. For 3 days, and on the third day we still had ice, but it was more water. We could have gone 4 days on ice in that thing. But we ended up just getting another bag, and we made another 3 days before we took it out, and there was still ice after it into the next 3 days. So it's pretty amazing. Being in the 70s and being able to keep ice that long for something that's a real refrigerator too. So we did that. So why did our batteries? So the question is, and then we watched movies on our laptop. And we would go, by this time we were already feeling better. We weren't sick anymore. I wasn't contagious. And so Noelle would get a cup of tea, and we'd go into Panera and charge our laptops up, and so we could watch shows at night. And then we would just go on the next day and charge them up while she went and got tea at Starbucks or coffee at, whatever. And so it worked okay instead of watching our big TV. But what we found, the question is, why did this happen? I have 320 watts of solar and 200 amp hours. It's because of that, the fridge needs to keep cold, and we watch movies, and every third day at least we need to have batteries. We need to have our batteries topped off, and this is something you'll have to think about if you're going to do your own system. How are you going? How many days do you need without sun? The other thing we don't do, because I think it hurts the batteries to charge them off the alternator, is we're not hooked up to the alternator. So when we're driving, we're not hooked up, and that would have helped too, obviously. I think the high amperage load, I think it would hurt the batteries. We haven't needed to in almost 2 years. This is the first time where we actually had to unplug the fridge in almost 2 years. So for the most part, it's worked. Maybe you guys know better, and it won't hurt your deep cycle batteries, to your lead acid deep cycle batteries, to run them off your alternator when you're driving. I don't know. But for me, I've never done it. And so why did it happen? When you use stuff, you got to recharge it up. And, if we had 4 batteries, that would cost, twice as much as we already have now, but we'd get more runtime. We could go 5 days, maybe 6 days before we need to charge. But then you have to pay for that. Where do you put the batteries? There's all these things to figure out. I'm excited in another video. I'm going to do a video coming, I don't know when, but soon, in the next, a couple months, I'm going to do another video and talk about what it takes if you're going to do this life, you want to build a van out, or, you know, what do you need? Because when I worked at the hardware store, the lumber store, I must have helped 25, maybe 30 people design their vans, or the back of their campers, or their back of their minivans. And so I'm gonna, and they asked general questions, so I'm gonna go back and do a video and help you figure out what you need as a person that's different than me, or that person, or that person. Are you a male, a female? Do you have needs that other people don't have? And so I helped a lot of people, and there were really interesting questions I would have never thought of, and so it would make a really good video to help you if you're interested in doing that too. So we made it through the whole solar thing, and the funny thing is, as soon as we unplugged, because the only thing we use the batteries for is the TV and the fridge, and we have a grinder when Noelle makes coffee, but that's like 10 seconds. So really it's just the fridge and the TV. When you unplug the fridge and you don't use the TV and the inverter's turned off, we don't use the batteries don't get used. And so they were pretty low. They got down to 11.9 at one point when we got up the next morning, because we have to run the fan, so there's airflow and stuff. So we had to use a little bit of juice. The little Walmart fan you can put batteries in. We just plugged it in, and it took 3 days, but with like it raining every day and being cloudy and overcast, with nothing running, that the reason we have 2 big solar panels on the roof is because we got fully charged in 3 days, and we were up to 14.6 fully topped off, and we stayed there. And then the sun came out, and we didn't have to re-top off. We didn't plug the fridge back in because we were just waiting for the sun, because the ice was working. And so that's one reason, not just to get 100 watt panel. We have 320 watts up there. It's cloudy. It was even raining at times and very cloudy, and we were still charging as long as we didn't have that fridge turned on. And so that was awesome. So now we know, okay, we have those days. Just unplug the fridge, put some ice, and those batteries will stay topped off, and it won't take forever for them to get re-topped off once the sun does come out. So I hope that gives you some insight on the solar thing and how it kind of works. The battery, to my end, 1 or 200 amp hours, just 1 or 2 batteries is plenty, but more solar is good. In a rainstorm, we were still charging when it was raining. I mean, it was pouring and we were charging. So that was like really cool. I'm like, geez, it's so neat that we can do that. So basically the rule is, if you can see a shadow underneath a car, like when you step outside, you see a shadow. If you can see a shadow, you can charge. That's the basic rule in the daytime, at least from my experience. All right, everybody, have a great day, and loving life right now. Life is amazing. And if you can't say that, or if someone asks you, are you happy? And if you get offended, if you can't say wholeheartedly, I am happy, look at doing something different. All right, bye.